The objective of this lesson is to have students be able to partition the area of circles into equal parts and identify the parts as unit fractions. In this lesson, students will expand their knowledge of flexibility of whole numbers to composing and decomposing parts of a whole. Students will recognize the size of fractional pieces and the numbers used to describe them. Suppose I have some pies to share with friends. How would I write a fraction that describes one slice of pie? What if my pie is shaped like this, into 3 equal pieces? We would call this 1/3, this piece 1/3, and this piece 1/3. Just as whole numbers are combined individual units, for example, 3 is composed of 1 plus 1 plus 1, fractions can be composed of units. A unit fraction describes one share of the total number of the same size pieces, and we would call each share of the region a unit fraction. You may have noticed that there are the same number of unit fractions, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, as there are equal shares, 1, 2, 3. If I have a pie that is sliced like this, I have 4 equal shares. This piece is 1/4, this piece is 1/4, this piece is 1/4, and this piece is 1/4. Each unit fraction is 1/4 or one share of the whole pie. You can write a fraction not just with words, but with numbers and fraction symbols. Let's see how we write a unit fraction for one slice of a pie using a fraction bar, a numerator, and a denominator. Let's start by drawing a fraction bar. The numerator, or the number that goes on the top of the fraction bar, represents how many pieces are being considered or counted. With unit fractions, we are talking about one piece, so we'll put a 1 on the top. The denominator, or the number that goes down under the bar, think D for denominator, think D down, represents the fractional pieces being counted and the number it takes to make the whole. In this example, there are 6 fractional pieces. It takes 6 to make the whole, so I write 6 under the fraction bar. This fraction is read as 1/6. Each slice of a pie is 1/6 of the whole pie. It is tempting to describe the denominator solely as the number of pieces the whole has been partitioned into. Be careful to not say always when describing the denominator. For example, a slice of pie can be partitioned without cutting the entire pie. This slice is 1/6 of the whole, even though there are not 6 partitioned pieces. Also, consider a pie that has been cut into 6 equal slices. 2 of these slices could be considered a third. The pie was not cut into or proportioned into 3 pieces, but thirds can be used to describe this fractional piece. This is the beginning of thinking about equivalent fractions, which will be addressed later. How do we write a fraction for a pie that has no partitions? How do we write and name it? If you have one whole pie, it is proportioned into one whole piece. So we write this fraction with our numerator as 1, the number of pieces being counted, and our denominator as 1, the number of pieces it takes to make the whole. It is not possible to have a fraction with a denominator of 0. Sometimes students say it's a whole pie with no equal parts. Remind your child the denominator isn't just the number of parts the whole is divided into, but rather the number of pieces it takes to make the whole, which in this case is 1. Although this lesson worked with fractional parts of circles, it's important that your child understand that fractional parts can be found in many situations. With your family, what fraction of your family are boys and what fraction of your family are girls? My family has 5 members and I have 1 daughter, so 2/5 of our family are girls and 3/5 of our family are boys. In this lesson, the students partition the area of circles into equal parts and identify unit fractions. They learn essential vocabulary to describe parts of a fraction and how to write them.